Apparently, some people really have made accurate future predictions. Of these people, some are employed by large corporations, and some have been dead for hundreds of years. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, it's difficult to deny the accuracy of their claims. Ray Kurzweil is the world's most successful futurist. He predicted the fall of the Soviet Union to the year. He predicted a universal search engine, wireless internet, e-books, face recognition technology, and nanotechnology. His biggest prediction is that by the year 2045, human beings will have achieved immortality. If you still don't believe him, just know that his predictions have an accuracy of 86%. He also thinks that solar power will provide enough energy for all humans by the year 2028. In 2013, the Pope quit. He resigned on the 28th of February, and the news shocked Catholics everywhere. On the 11th of February, a woman predicted his resignation in a tweet. The tweet said, "My boyfriend woke up last night at 4 a.m. saying he had dreamed of a new pope called Francis, and Benedict resigned. 2 weeks later, Pope Benedict quit, and Pope Francis was chosen to succeed him." 14 years before the Titanic sank, Morgan Robertson wrote almost exactly what happens to the ship in one of his books. The novel was about a ship that was the biggest the world had ever seen. It was described as unsinkable, as was the Titanic, but it sank after crashing into an iceberg, as did the Titanic. Robertson's ship could reach the same speed and had almost the exact same measurements. Maybe the real ship was inspired by the novel, in which case they should have seen the disaster coming. Nikola Tesla was the inventor of the AC electric supply system. He's mostly remembered for his patent battles with other inventors, like Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse. But if history was just, he'd be remembered for his great mind. He basically predicted the smartphone. In 1926 he said, "But through television and telephony, we shall see and hear one another as perfectly as though we were face to face. A man will be able to carry one in his vest pocket." That's not the full quote. He goes into a lot more detail. There is a woman called Susan Saxman, and she's known as the reluctant psychic. Apparently, she doesn't want to be a psychic, but can't ignore her special powers. Said special powers allow her to predict future events, as well as contact the dead. She predicted one of her clients would become seriously ill soon, and told her to visit a doctor. The client wouldn't listen, and died soon after. She told another client never to drive, or else they will die in a car crash. 1 month later, that client died in a car crash. It is, of course, impossible for any of these to have been coincidences. This man, whose name I can't pronounce, was a French political thinker. In 1840, he predicted that America would become the world's most powerful country, and also predicted the Cold War. In his own words, "There are now two great nations in the world which, starting from different points, seem to be advancing towards the same goal, the Russians and the Anglo-Americans." He went on to say that the destiny of half the world would rely on these two nations. At the time, people called him crazy. At the dawn of the 20th century, a man called John Elfrith Watkins wrote for a women's magazine. In it, he described what the world could be like in 100 years' time. He predicted color photographs, a rising average height, slowing population growth, the television, tanks, and many more things. Some of his predictions haven't yet come true, and I doubt they ever will. He said the letters C, X, and Q will be taken out of the alphabet. Nostradamus is famous across the world for his accurate predictions of major events. Not all of his predictions came true, but he was accurate with the Great Fire of London, the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon and Hitler, the Second World War, atomic weapons, and 9/11. It is possible that he didn't really predict any of these things, but that his material is interpreted loosely enough to fit anything. The famous fiction writer H.G. Wells predicted a host of modern-day inventions. These include the heat ray, the atom bomb, genetic engineering, automatic doors, tanks, and mobile phones. All these things have either been invented or are currently being developed. Despite possibly being the greatest genius ever, Isaac Newton was also mental. He believed in alchemy and occultism and magic. Based on his interpretation of the Bible, Newton believed the world would end in the year 2060. Coming from Isaac Newton, a lot of people believed this prediction. He said that the world will end 1260 years after the Holy Roman Empire was founded, because that's when Jesus will return. So, like I said, Isaac Newton was mental.